This meeting is being recorded.
All right, Becky, we hear you. We hear you, Becky. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 12, season 2 of the Yellow Card Podcast, presented by your host, Diego, the DJ, Chris Jones in the building. How we doing tonight?
We're here.
We're here. We're living. We're living. We're 18 days into 2023. A lot of surprises happening already. Lots to talk about. Lots to talk about here. Episode 12. We got a juicy episode for y'all. So buckle up because this is a big episode. Big episode for you boys.
Huge.
Thank you guys for having supported us throughout what now 3 years. 112 episodes now. So going for a fun ride here. First and foremost, let's dive into the content tonight. We just got off of watching the Manchester United versus Crystal Palace game that took place at Selhurst Park in North London. Crystal Palace coming back towards the very end of the game and scoring a beauty of a free kick on United, tying up the game 1-1. United misses the opportunity to capitalize on three major important points that will secure them in the second place for the Premier League, depending, of course, on how Manchester City and Tottenham mash up during the week. Now they sit in third place, 39 points. However, they are still ahead of Newcastle. Newcastle sitting behind them at fourth place at 38 points. Wood Workhorse made his debut today. Was taken off earlier during the game. Looked somewhat decent. Nothing too much to discuss there. What are some of your takes there, Chris?
Yeah, it was you knew it was going to be a close game overall. I mean, especially with the fact that the last couple of times that these two teams have met at Crystal Palace has got the best of them. Mm-hmm. So you knew at Selhurst that United was in for a little bit of a struggle here. They jumped out early. They played well in the second half. Just sometimes, when you got a guy like David De Gea as your goalie, sometimes you got to bite the bullet.
Well, I mean, I will say in this instance, I'm going to defend David De Gea here. He did make about 5 to 6 different saves that were all goal-scoring opportunities for Crystal Palace. I will say towards the very last 10 minutes of the game, United did look sluggish, kind of lost a little bit of confidence and got a little too cocky with themselves, I would say. Ball was not moving all that great. A lot of mistakes happening in the middle. All those mistakes led up to now a yellow card for Casemiro. Casemiro will also be missing the game against Arsenal, which is a very important game in the slate this weekend for Manchester United and for Arsenal as well. So a lot of careless mistakes made at very unfortunate timing by Manchester United. However, this is one of the most exciting eras so far for Manchester United so far in the past 10 to 12 years.
What are you laughing at?
Oh, I could tell what you just did, you pork.
What are you talking, dude?
Oh, I could tell what you just did.
Sure.
Content, though.
Don't be accusing me of nothing on this show.
Content. I can see a little cloud building up in the back behind you.
Just the light, dude.
It's not just your aura, it's the cloud building behind you.
It's the light.
I will say though, it's kind of disappointing closure for United. I'm sure Chris, you saw the last 2 minutes of that game. Ten Hag walked off the pitch pretty pissed off. You could tell that he was angry. So I'm sure the conversation in the locker room was not an easy one to take if you were any of those players sitting in that locker room after 90 minutes. Mm-hmm. But we'll see what's to come during this weekend. Very important game though between Arsenal and Manchester United. This could be the deciding factor for who's going to win the league title this year. Arsenal might still have a lead on about 8 to 10 points on United and about 5 to 7 points on Manchester City. But this is still a full-way horse race here between
it's
the top four.
City and United are tied in points. So it's an 8-point both ways.
I thought City was sitting at 38.
No, they got 39.
39?
Yeah,
okay.
Also has 39.
Okay. Oh, goal differential. That's right. City's sitting atop of.
Plus 28 goal differential, yes, to
Well,
plus 8.
I mean, when you got Erling Haaland horny enough to score goals, that's what happens.
I mean, I feel like Erling Haaland hasn't scored in a while.
yeah,
Erling Haaland has
that's
fun fact. Erling Haaland hasn't scored a goal in 2023.
yeah, that's been a big concerning factor here. What's going on there? I think that after the World Cup, that timing that was there for him to continue practicing and get even more, you know, more in speed and in tune with the Premier League. It kind of was shrugged off to the side, and it seems like it's been a sluggish start for Erling Haaland.
You say that. You
But
say
let's
that.
not, yeah.
You say that, but he still leads the league in
It
goals.
still
In
links,
21.
yeah.
So
But
that's a
all right,
great
let's
story.
dive into the EPL. You and I had a pretty tough week last week. However, since we didn't do a Manchester United versus Crystal Palace prediction, we kind of just gave an automatic
You and I hold on.
victory there for the two
So
of us.
you and I talked off air, and we came to the agreement that it was 1-0. We came to the agreement that if United won, we were going to give you the point. I was going to take the loss. But the fact that it was a draw, it was both ways because of the fact that I saw it being either 1-0 or 1-1. Either way, end up being 1-1. So I'll take the point there. You getting the point as of the fact that it was in agreement.
Mhm.
Writing, I have the text to prove it.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, so we both automatically accumulated an additional victory there onto our current record.
shithousing at its
For,
finest, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome.
was that?
Shithousing at its finest. You're welcome.
Yeah, exactly. So we our updated records now sit at 181 for yours truly.
Now remember, Diego got his 100th win on a shithouse.
On a
Put that on the
shithouse.
record. It
Yeah.
was a shithouse 100th win. It's in quotation.
Jones also gets his shithouse victory, improving to 86 and 95.
Well, I need it. I stink.
You needed it badly. Last week, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that we went. I went 6 and 5. You went 4 and 7.
Yep.
I will say last week.
No.
I will say last week, Jones, you nailed a spot on the Brentford game and the Aston Villa game. 2-1 Aston Villa, Brentford 1-0 over Bournemouth.
I would like credit. I did call 2-1 in the Manchester Derby, just the wrong side.
You did, yeah. Either way, so I myself capitalized on the Fulham versus Chelsea, Manchester United versus Manchester City, and Wolves and West Ham meeting. Predicted the 2-1 Fulham victory over Chelsea. Predicted a 2-1 United victory over City, and 1-0 Wolves over West Ham. So again, like I said, our record sitting at 181, 86, and 95 for Jones. Wow.
Sorry, I'm just you were talking about your all these scores you predicted correctly, and I was gonna make a gesture. And I stopped myself from doing it, and I laughed about it. I'm sorry.
What were you gonna do?
Not professional.
This?
No.
Oh God, what a jerk.
Not professional at all.
Go figure. All right, so let's dive into this week's slate. Now Manchester City meeting Tottenham tomorrow. I'm going with a 2-1 victory from Tottenham. Seems like they're finally starting to get a little bit of a stride here. They just had a victory. I'm sorry, they just had a loss against Arsenal. Conte needs to bring back that confidence up to this team. I think this is a perfect opportunity to do so. Manchester City, on the other hand, kind of a little bit bruised up, still lacking a little bit of their chemistry. It's here and there, very wishy-washy, and with a lackluster performance against Southampton and a tough and physical matchup against Manchester United, I don't see Manchester City being 100% just yet. So I'm going to go 2-1 Tottenham.
Talking about City being banged up, I think the only injury that I've seen on the report so far is John Stones. He's a game time decision. So I think City's a little bit healthier than you're giving them credit for here. The fact that it's at Etihad. I mean, I'm gonna go City to win 2-0 here. I think 7-1-1 at home. Tottenham has struggled on the road this year. Getting points in 7 out of 9 is great, but they've had two losses on the road. Two, if I remember correctly, their losses on the road aren't great. So they lost on the road to where is it? To Nottingham Forest, which was the League Cup actually, now that I think about it. So that doesn't count. They lost to United at home, which United is very good at home. And they lost to Arsenal at home. So 2 wins against 2 of the top 3. Trend continues. I think they lose to City at home 2-0.
All right, let's move on. We got Liverpool and Anfield hosting Chelsea. Chelsea not looking all that exciting. Neither is Liverpool, but Liverpool's still sitting ahead of Chelsea on the table. I'm gonna give this one to the "You Never Walk Alone" Confederation. That's what I like to call you guys. I'm gonna go 1-0 Liverpool.
Oh, I'm so glad we can agree on the score and the side. I think if this wasn't at Anfield, I think this would be a completely different type of game. Liverpool, 8 out of 9 games this year, they've gotten a point. They won 6 out of 9. Nice at home. They're pretty good at home. Chelsea, it's a 50-50 whether they show up or not. I mean, they haven't looked great. But I think Liverpool's coming in with some confidence after the FA Cup win over Wolves earlier this week. I think they carry that over. 1-0. I like them. Nice and simple.
All right, let's move on. We got Leicester taking on Brighton. Leicester at home at King Power Stadium. I've always said it, and I'll continue to say it. Leicester at King Power Stadium is a nightmare to play.
Has been that way this year, though.
It hasn't been that year, but it's still a difficult side to face at home. One of the most difficult sides at home in the middle of the table to face. I still believe that Leicester City will give a run for their money to Brighton. I'm going to go 2-1 Leicester.
So you have Leicester 2-1. Mm-hmm. Brighton away from home, 5-1-3. They've been very good. That's actually been their strength. Is how good they are on the road. The 5 road wins, I believe, is tied for second best in the EPL. Actually, they're tied with City and United. Both have 5 road wins. Arsenal leads, obviously, with 8. But Leicester, you were talking about King Power being the issue. 4 out of the 9 home games, they've only gotten points in 4 of them. I think they'll get a point here, but I don't think they get multiple. I'm going with a 1-1 draw.
All right. Southampton at God, why am I forgetting their name?
Aston Villa. Jesus.
No, Southampton at what's the name of their stadium?
Southampton's?
Yeah.
It's St. Mary's.
St. Mary's. Thank you. I was in between St. Mary's and another one. Sorry.
St. Teresa.
Southampton at St. Mary's Stadium taking on Aston Villa. It's just not pretty for Southampton. I'm going 2-0 Villa. Villa also just got a new signing. He's eager to start playing in the EPL. If I'm not mistaken, he's eligible to play in the EPL now. So 2-1 Villa.
You said you just throw 2 different scores there. 2-1 and 2-0.
Oh, sorry, 2-0. 2-0, sir.
Jesus.
Sorry, Jesus. I'm all over the place right now.
If this was Aston Villa, I would be a little bit more confident in this one. Villa's biggest issue is getting points on the road. 2-2-5 on the road. And actually, quite frankly, thinking about it out loud, Southampton's actually a little bit better on the road than they are at home. 1-3-5 at home this year, Southampton. I'm actually going to go with the same score, same results as you. I like Villa to win this one, stay in, probably even bump up in the top 10. No, they'll be tied with Chelsea for points if Liverpool wins. But I'll say Villa 2-0.
All right. We got West Ham taking on Everton. It's not looking pretty for either one of these two sides right now. I do believe Everton is a little bit hungrier right now. They look like they want to turn the page rather quickly than before it's too late. I'm going to go 1-0 Everton, but I wouldn't be surprised if this ends in a draw. I'm going to stick to my 1-0 Everton victory, though.
Yeah, I mean, the trends here, it's at West Ham. West Ham, much better home team than they are on the road. Everton, 1-4-4 on the road, man. It's a struggle here. I'm going to go 1-0, but I'm going to go with the home team. Take West Ham.
All right. Bournemouth meeting up against Nottingham Forest. Really not a lot that separates either one of these two teams, to be honest with you, from the other. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw here for these two.
I'm going 3-1 Bournemouth, and here's why. Last two times these two teams played, Nottingham Forest had a 2-0 lead. Bournemouth came all the way back and won 3-2. I think Bournemouth at home is much better than Nottingham Forest on the road. I really like Bournemouth. I'll take them to win 3-1.
All right. Crystal Palace taking on Newcastle. Crystal Palace with a losing record against Newcastle. In fact, more draws than anything else, to be honest with you, in the past, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, 12, maybe 11 games. However, Crystal Palace is very good against top 6 teams. They just proved that against Manchester United. They've proved it all along, all season long. It is at Selhurst Park again. I'll be honest with you. I actually think this is a nil draw. I'm gonna go 0-0.
I'm trying to check up these stats you were throwing out about both these two.
I believe if I'm not mistaken, it's like 6 draws and 5 losses or something like that.
So Crystal Palace has won 2 of their last 11 Premier League home games against Newcastle United, with 4 draws and 5 losses.
4 draws and 5 losses. There you go.
So I'm going a draw. I'm going 1-1. I think, like you said, Crystal Palace plays well against these top 5 teams, and realistically speaking, if we're thinking about it out loud, they're at home. I really like Crystal Palace at home. They're going to play them tough 1-1.
Yep. All right. Manchester City at home against Wolves. Really not much between these two. Right now, I would say Manchester City, obviously, the stronger side. Wolves with a lot to still work on. This would be Julian Lopetegui's first time meeting Pep Guardiola in a while. I don't know if he's going to figure out yet.
Is it at City?
Yeah, it's at City, which is even a nightmare. So I'm going to go 3-0 City.
I'll go 3-1. I think, like you said, City is a tough team. They're very tough to play at Etihad. We talked about it earlier when talking about them versus Tottenham. They're playing Bournemouth. No, I'm sorry. They're playing Wolves, who are 1-3-5 on the road. I'll take City 3-1.
All right. Let's move on. We got Leeds taking on Brentford. It is at Ellen Road. Leeds desperately needing a victory here. Has not looked good for them lately. Brentford, on the other hand, kind of a decent side away from home. However, with Leeds desperately needing a victory at Ellen Road, it is a little bit of a different environment. I do think Leeds turns it around here and finally get the victory going. 2-0 Leeds.
I'm going 0-0 draw here. I think both defenses are going to play well. Leeds 3-3 at home, very, very good. Brentford getting points out of 6 of the 9 road games. Can't side with either or, so I'll take it right in the middle. Both sides get a point. I'll take a 0-0 draw.
All right. What I would say is the biggest matchup of the week: Arsenal versus Manchester United. Last time that these two met, Manchester United handed the first loss of the season to Arsenal.
Their only loss.
Their only loss. Exactly. Manchester United, on the other hand, kind of dealt a difficult hand right now, especially with Casemiro completely out for this game. They're gonna have to rely on Fred or McTominay. It's a difficult situation here for United. It is away from home. However, Manchester United does do well away as well so far. They, as Chris said earlier in the episode, they're one of the top 5 teams with better records away from home. What do we think?
Coming in before Casemiro getting suspended, I really like United to potentially win this game. But I'm also thinking on Arsenal's front, they don't have Gabriel Jesus, which would be a big loss up front. They've been getting it done, but at the same time, at home, they haven't lost at home yet. They're 7-1-0. Something's got to do. United's looking to complete their second league double over Arsenal since Sir Alex Ferguson retired in 2013, doing so since the only time, which was 17-18 under Jose Mourinho. So they haven't beaten Arsenal twice in a row in a very, very long time. And the last, I think, 2 meetings that Arsenal hosts United in a Premier League match where they're at the top of the table, both of them have ended in a draw. March of 2004 is 1-1, and November 2007 2-2. So I really do think that if United didn't have Casemiro out, that they would win this game. However, with all these stats and these numbers that I've seen, I'm going with the 1-1 draw.
1-1 draw. All right. I'm going to go a little differently here, and of course, I'm going to take United. However, I don't think it's a massive victory for them. I think it's a 1-0 victory against Arsenal, and here's why. Workhorse's debut was not all that impactful. With Casemiro missing and seeing the kind of identity that United has started to pick up, pressure is on his shoulders. He's the new signing of the Red Devils. He's the new face up front of the Red Devils as well. He's got to deliver something. This is the perfect opportunity to do so in a marquee matchup. This is a perfect opportunity with Arsenal not having a proper striker and Gabriel Jesus being injured. That gives Manchester United a little bit of breathing room, but not too much to bargain for. It all comes down to mistakes and who's more likely to make them. With Mikel Arteta being more of an emotional side than Erik ten Hag, I think this is the opportunity for Manchester United to win 1-0. Last but not least, Fulham versus Tottenham. Fulham and Tottenham meet on Monday. It is the last Premier game for the month of January as we transition onto other tournaments, which we will talk about later on in this episode. What are we thinking?
Games at Fulham. Fulham very good at home. Sitting top 6 on the table, which not you or I saw coming at all.
Nobody did.
I think, and this is, if we're talking like this, right? Tottenham will now have to play 3 straight games against top 6 opponents in Arsenal, City, and now Fulham. Fulham's tough. I think Tottenham's just a little bit too talented, and especially if they lose 2 in a row, I think they bounce back here. I'll go Tottenham 2-1.
I'm going Tottenham 2-1 as well. Reason being almost similar to yours. However, with the addition that if there is somebody that's really good with pressure at delivering results, it's Antonio Conte, and that's why he's one of the most proven managers there is worldwide. He's easily in the top 20 of managers that I would say with proven records of when it comes down to pressure. It's a perfect opportunity for Tottenham to secure that 5th place, and I think this is where Conte comes into place big time for Tottenham. So I'm going 2-1. I know Chris is looking something up there. So before I transition until the next topic, I want to.
Sorry, I got an urge to look at who the referee assignments were for the United and Arsenal game.
No win, not luck is probably Chris Kavanaugh. So
Incorrect.
Anthony Taylor.
Anthony Taylor.
Yeah. Who else?
Gary Beswick, Adam Dunn. Fourth official is Andre Mariner. VAR, Michael Salisbury. Assistant VAR is Dan Robinson.
Oh, lovely.
Where is Chris Kavanaugh this weekend?
So that is going to be a controversial game.
Looking for Chris Kavanaugh. Hold on. Give me a second. Okay. So he's not in Liverpool, which is good. I'll take that. Bournemouth, no.
He could actually be at the Manchester City game against Tottenham tomorrow.
He could be. That's a good call by you. Chris Kavanaugh. I actually don't see his name here. So I will have to check on the Manchester City game tomorrow. Because I don't see his name here.
And you say he's not at Liverpool, right?
He's not at Liverpool, no.
Okay.
So they play. Yeah, no, he's not here either. Did we miss something?
Is he suspended or what the hell?
Let's find out. Why don't you go into the next topic and
No. Now I'm curious. I want to find this out. We need to find this out.
So it looks like he hasn't reffed a game since October 10th.
Oh goodness. Was he suspended? I don't remember him being suspended, but if that's the case, well, now we've identified a new controversial thing.
Let me see. I'll tell you right now. So the last game he was an on-field referee at was Aston Villa and Brighton, November 13th.
Okay.
He hasn't reffed a game since that as an on-field ref.
So that will become our new segment until he gets employed again in the Premier League.
Is Chris Kavanaugh still a Premier League ref?
Yeah, right.
All right, dive into the next topic, will you?
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, next topic and big thing we need to talk to you about. It's finally our exciting announcement that we've been waiting to do for all 18 days of 2023. Your Yellow Card podcast crew has officially joined a new and exciting network here in the United States. You guys ready? You guys ready for this big announcement? Because that network is, yes, Chris?
I want to say it.
You want to say it?
I want to say it.
All right. What is the name of the network, Mr. Jones?
So, the Yellow Card podcast is now brought to you by our good friends over at StudentUnionSports.com.
That's right, baby. As you heard, Mr. Jones himself said it, we have joined Student Union Sports. You may be wondering, who are they? What do they do? And what is it that is so important about them? To be frankly honest, this is a fantastic network that we have decided to join. It is dedicated to helping college writers and young adult content creators build their digital media skills as they create a professional portfolio for themselves in this career. Featured contributors, Jones and I will be sharing our expertise and experience to guide and mentor the students that are writing on this website. That's not all. You can find daily content at StudentUnionSports.com written to you by young adults. It's completely independent. You no longer have to rely on some of the unfortunate streamlined media that now these days seems to side a lot with politics that do not have any involvement whatsoever into the sports category of things. You can access a wide range of resources to help you improve everything that you're looking for, whether it's podcasting, whether it's content creation, whether it's daily articles, weekly podcasts like the Yellow Card podcast. You'll have all sorts of opportunities to be able to find all of that stuff here at StudentUnionSports.com. Make sure that you give them a follow on Twitter. Make sure you check out their content, and make sure you stay up to date with all the content that Chris Jones and I will be bringing onto the website as we join their family of podcasts. We're very excited about this opportunity. Very excited for the affiliation with this great website, and looking forward to adding to their already incredibly talented roster. So again, Jones and I will be joining the network of the StudentUnionSports.com. Make sure to check them out, and make sure that you give them a follow on Twitter or on any social media platform that you may be following them. Moving on. Yes.
Sorry. So I'm reading more about the Chris Kavanaugh stuff.
Oh boy, I knew.
So I guess it all started back in February of 2022 when the Everton Football Club complained to the English Premier League about the poor standard of refereeing in their game versus Manchester City. Chris Kavanaugh, who was the VAR official, failed to award a penalty for a clear handball after match referee Paul Tierney was onside. Everton manager Frank Lampard stated he was a professional who can't do his job right and incompetent at best.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Wow.
I love it. He's so bad.
Wow. All right, so there you have it for the Chris Kavanaugh cornerstone of our episode here today, episode 12 of the Yellow Card podcast. Let's move on. We got an exciting tournament that's also coming to its end in the Carabao Cup. We know what those matchups look like right now. So, Jones, take us to it.
So our matchups are Southampton and Newcastle and Manchester United. Diego, who's their opponent?
Go ahead, say it. You're handling this segment.
And Nottingham Forest. I was waiting for you to do something, but
no, I'm not doing anything. This is your segment, sir.
All right, so the Carabao Cup, 2 legs, semifinals. First one, Southampton, Newcastle. Brain doesn't work. I saw the script, Diego. I'm gonna let you know. I saw the script on how this is gonna play out. Southampton, Newcastle, rough first game. They draw. Newcastle then goes at home. Newcastle wins. They move on to the final where they will take on the Manchester United Red Devils. It'll be a battle between Howe and Ten Hag, first to see who can get their first trophy with their new respective clubs. It's going to be must-watch TV. And at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you now, at the end of the day, based off how the structure is, if it's Ten Hag, it just boosts United's rating. But if it's Howe, this is what it does for United. It does two things. One, it leaves Ten Hag a little sour, especially because it'll give him more opportunity to, if they're still in the Europa League, and it'll make that team a little bit more hungry in the Premier League, in my opinion. And two, Newcastle wins it. Everybody starts talking about Newcastle. United then comes in and they just stomp them. They just absolutely stomp them later on in the season. Because I believe they still have to play one more time in the Premier League, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, they do. Yeah. I like it. I like the little plot that you're creating here. I will say I share with you
April 1st on April Fool's Day.
There you go. I will say, I mean, I like your thinking. I like where this is headed. I personally think it's different. I think that Ten Hag's competitive spirit right now is so high right now to prove that he can do it. And because United hasn't won a piece of silverware in quite a long time, this is the first step into proving that they can't do it for Ten Hag. Meanwhile, for Newcastle, I think the expectations are not that the project should be undermined, because what Eddie Howe is doing with Newcastle has been tremendous. It's something to be completely loved and respected. Whether you're a fan of the game or whether you're a fan of theirs or whether you're a fan of any other club, that project that Eddie Howe has brought on Newcastle is to be respected, and huge fan of it. I do think that for them though, it's been such a roller coaster of experience so far in the past 10 years for them, that I think what's most important for them is securing a top 4 landing, maybe even top 6 landing, so that they can compete to the standards that they used to compete back in the day, being in Champions League or being in the Europa League, at least being able to compete on a higher scale, continent wise. And I think being able to compete somewhere like, doing something to compete against other European teams, that's a perfect opportunity for Newcastle. So I do think the final will be Newcastle versus Manchester United. I am thinking that United will win this trophy, but I think that whether it's United or Newcastle, either one of those two teams deserve the trophy of the Carabao Cup so far. Let's move on. We got updated transfer, January transfer so far. It's been a quiet January transfer window so far. Not a lot of splashes being made. But Chris, I'll let you handle the January transfer window update.
Yeah, I mean, there's really not much to talk about. I mean, our boy Fabrizio's been going at it a little bit with some Twitter trolls.
Yo, that show was hilarious.
Online.
By the way, if you didn't see it, that show was hilarious.
But I mean, the last one that I saw for him was about Memphis Depay leaving Barcelona in the January transfer window.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right now, it looks like potential Atletico Madrid, which would be huge for them. They definitely do need striking help as well.
Well, actually, that deal is done. Memphis Depay is actually leaving Barcelona to go over to finish the season with Atletico Madrid.
Gotcha. Oh, yep. Nope. There it is right there. I should have just scrolled down a little bit on Fabrizio's Twitter page.
All good.
Let's see what else we got. Pedro Porro going to get in a bid from Tottenham.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something to keep an eye on as well. The big one, Jan Sommer, officially to Bayern Munich.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, after what happened with Manuel Neuer and his winter accident, they desperately needed a goalie. They got one, and they got a pretty good one, especially in the Bundesliga. So that's going to help them down the stretch as well.
Yep.
Other than that, there's not really much to touch upon.
Yeah, no, I mean, Bayern Munich definitely got a great deal on Jan Sommer. So this is a great signing for them, and hopefully strengthens their needs for that squad. We also got to touch base real quick on the Manchester United sale that's happening right now. It is believed that Sir Jim Ratcliffe has officially submitted a bid worth of about 5 billion euros to buy out Manchester United from the Glazer family. It is also believed that there are about 3 to 4 other suitors that are looking to place bids later on this week, potentially onto next week. Some of the rumored and potential new buyers could be Tim Cook from Apple, which would make, at that point, Manchester United probably the richest club in the whole entire world if Apple is to buy out the club. There is beliefs that Saudi Arabia would be investing in the club, same with Qatar, and potentially somewhere else in the Middle East, like the United Arab Emirates. There's plenty of interest here in Manchester United. So Manchester United could be finally sold by this year, and Glazers will finally be out for all Manchester United fans that have been begging for this to happen. This is just the beginning of the transformation stages.
The last thing I'm going to say for tonight's episode, when we were discussing off air about these potential names, you said Radcliffe. I immediately thought Daniel. I was like, he doesn't have enough money to do that. I agree. I was like, the Harry Potter money's going to be gone now.
I know. I agree. For me personally, I could go on and on and on about this. I do not think that Jim Ratcliffe is the right buyer for this club, but that's just me personally. But we posted a poll for you guys. Hopefully you guys voted. But until then, episode 12 concludes here. Thank you guys all so much for tuning in every single week to listen to us ramble about our passion here when it comes to the game of football. Look forward to the exciting announcement being dropped on Twitter, evidently, as soon as this episode is posted. Thank you all so much. Until next episode, signing off, Diego Jones. See you guys soon for episode 13.